This episode of the podcast is brought to you today by Invader Coffee, the best coffee in the world. That's right, out of Austin, Texas, veteran-owned, delicious coffee. It's air-roasted, which only like 5% of all coffee is, which means it's a lower acidity. You don't have to worry about that nasty little heartburn after a couple of cups of coffee. So get yourself some great coffee. Go to invadercoffee.com. Use code word Goldy's Playground to get a discount on your orders. Invadercoffee.com. Goldy's Playground, all one word. Use that. This episode is also brought to you by a terrific supplement company. They're amazing. I love them. I know the owners. They're great. They're going to be on the podcast one day. Go to dmv-labs.com. They've got all your great supplements, from proteins to PM burn to testosterone support to neuromind clearers to BCAAs, recovery drinks, pre-workouts, everything you could think of. It's dmv-labs.com, code word Goldy's Playground, all one word, and get yourself another discount there as well. All right, on today's episode, which is actually technically the first episode under the new name, the MFG Show, that is because Goldy and Friends was kind of being used in different ways on another podcast, and there was some confusion. So I decided to make a change to make it easier. Format's not going to change. There may be a few more episodes with just me, but you people love hearing my voice anyway. So I've been told I have a voice of a radio god. I don't know. Some lady from Colorado told me that. Anyway, on the podcast today, my good friend, Mr. Robert Camp, retired Sergeant First Class from the Army, current co-owner of CrossFit Vex out of Grand Junction, Colorado. We are going to talk about some awesome fitness stuff, how to be a better human, and overall just have another great conversation for everybody to listen to. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start the show. Hey, buddy.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve most days.
Oh, boy. That is such a good answer.
I know. I stole that line from Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey. The genius Dave Ramsey. By the way, 64 ounces in. I'm 16 ounces behind you, but I'm 64 ounces in.
We got a long night and day ahead of us.
As a matter of fact, we do. And this is the reason you're here, right? One of the reasons you're here.
The other reason is to see your luxurious beard.
It is luxurious. That's a good way to put it. No one has ever used luxurious. Most of the time it's grotesque or Sasquatch-like.
That's because they're not real friends.
No, they are. They see me without a shirt, so the Sasquatch part kind of works. I'm so fuzzy. I'm so fuzzy. And you brought your beautiful wife here, who is sitting and listening while the dog chews on a bone. That's right. Old Maverick making the appearance again on the podcast with his chomping. So everybody knows, Robert and I are about to embark on, in T-minus 4.5 hours, we will be embarking on a 24-hour event through GoRuck, the GoRuck Heavy, in remembrance of the 20th anniversary of September 11th. So we'll be in D.C. on September 11th, running through all of that. So it's a 24-hour event. They say it's like over 40 miles. We'll have like 5 or 6 hero wads we get to do, which that sounds amazing after 24 hours.
Sounds like a lot of fitness.
It's a lot of fitness crammed into a 24-hour period while we carry 35 to 40 pounds on our back and whatever team weights they bring. So yeah. I'm imagining a lot of sandbags, probably a pole or two. But
fire hose.
See, poles and fire hoses. That's what this guy's used to. I am so familiar with fire hoses and poles because I have family members that are firefighters. I don't know what you thought. It's disgusting. And your wife snickered, and she's gross too. Dirty-minded individuals. This is a house of learned doctors.
That's right.
I don't know of what. I'm not sure. So tell everybody a little bit. Give everybody a little rundown on kind of the background of you, my friend. There's like 12 people that listen to this. Some of them I don't know. So they may not know you. And the other ones, actually, I don't think they know you either. So give a little rundown on who you are.
Well, if you have 12 people now, after this episode, you'll probably have like 10. So,
that's what I'm going for, actually, is negative viewer ratings.
You're welcome. Like Steve said, my name is Robert Camp. I am the co-owner of CrossFit Vex, along with my beautiful wife. We live in Grand Junction, Colorado, which is on the western slope of Colorado, about 35-ish miles from the Utah border. I ended up in Colorado after following a 21-year Army career. Born and raised in South Alabama. My dad also retired from the U.S. Army. He actually flew Hueys in Vietnam.
Nice.
Picked up and dropped off Rangers. So very quiet, but a very badass individual, and he would never tell a single soul that. So
I don't think his job was quiet.
No. So born and raised in South Alabama. Grew up youngest of 7 children. Graduated high school, was in Fort McClellan, Alabama for basic training about 11 days after graduation. And
Whoa.
Stayed, no summer.
No.
Well, summer, but summer in South Alabama.
At boot camp.
At boot camp, yeah.
I'm not sure that's the worst place to have boot camp in South Alabama in the summer.
Fun summer, yep. Next 21 years, 20 plus years Army career, and retired and officially retired July 1st of 2019.
That's right. I remember that retirement. It was quite excellent.
It was.
I remember the surprise retirement party that your loving, soon-to-be bride at that time threw for you from states away. Somehow organized it, which is pretty impressive.
Had a beer crafted specifically for me and my name, which is cool.
We got hammered on beer that day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that was a very, very great day. With a lot of, I don't remember any of it, but it was great from what the pictures said.
It was fun. I kind of only remember walking in. Everything else after that was a blur.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's how most surprise parties work. So, yeah, man, so that's awesome. So you got into all that, and one of the things I wanted to kind of talk with you about is what kind of started, so when you're in the Army, right, you people take different paths in life regardless, like especially like in the military, as well as like you see it with like police and firefighters and stuff like that. You have the guys that are really into fitness, and you have the guys that are not.
Yeah.
What got you started down that path where ultimately led to you? Like you've coached for over a decade, right?
Yep.
That's how we met. You were a coach at the gym we go to, and that's how we became friends. And then you now own a gym and coach and things like that. What got you going on that?
So I mean, obviously in the military, you know, the military's job is to fight and win America's wars. Well, the job is to deter war.
Yeah.
But if deterrence fails, fight and win. Kind of have to be physically fit to do that. What specifically got me started in CrossFit is I was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Had a new commander come in, great guy by the name of then Captain Iman, did CrossFit. That's my initial introduction into CrossFit, and I was what early on was referred to as a YouTube CrossFitter for several years after that. There were no established CrossFit boxes anywhere near me where I was stationed, so I just kind of looked up stuff online, did a lot of things really, really wrong for a really long time. Never had a coach, never went to an actual gym, just because there wasn't really that well established like it is today. So fast forward a few years, was stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Again, still looking up workouts online and watching videos and trying to figure out how to do things. And a random dude walked up to me at Fort Leonard Wood and was like, "Hey, do you know they're opening a CrossFit gym right offside the post?"
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "No." And he gave me the name, and I looked it up and found the number, called the number, and a guy answered. And I was like, "Hey, is this Dropping Plates CrossFit?" And he was like, "Yeah." He goes, "But I'm not even open yet. Like, I don't have any equipment. I just, like, it's all on order from Rogue." And and I was like, "Okay, cool." He was like, "Yeah," sarcastically, he was like, "Yeah, the truck will be here at noon tomorrow. You can come by and help me unload everything, and you can get a workout in." Well, I showed up.
So you did that. Yeah, I was saying, knowing you, I'm sure you showed up there and you did it.
I showed up. I walked in the door. A friend of mine, still a friend of mine, was actually a groomsman in my wedding, a guy by the name of Greg Snyder. He was like, "Can I help you? I'm not open yet." I was like, "Oh, no, I'm Robert Camp. I talked to you on the phone yesterday." He was like, "Holy shit, I was being sarcastic." I was like, "Is the truck here?" He was like, "Yeah, the semi-truck called me like 2 hours ago. They're about 30 minutes away." So I hung out for a little bit and helped him unload the truck and set up some equipment over my lunch break, and that's my Greg Snyder was my official first coach. Dropping plates was my official first CrossFit gym. That's actually where I got my level 1. And
oh, wow. It was called Dropping Plates?
Dropping Plates CrossFit.
It's actually a great name.
It is.
You hear a lot of terrible ones.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. It was a great gym, great people. Got to work out and coach and meet a lot of good people through that gym. Yeah, for me, that's where it all started and kind of
evolved from now into owning a CrossFit
and now
gym.
I own my own gym. Yeah.
Look at you. It's amazing to watch, and it's funny, when you hear like different people's. It's interesting just to see the different like fitness paths people go down. Like for me, I was kind of the opposite. Like my first foray into it was just regular weightlifting when I got into high school. I was 6'2", 6'3", as tall as I am now, I guess, and weighed like $165. So like if I turned sideways, I disappeared, or if I wore windbreakers and a stiff wind came, I was gone. Like I was gone. Our coach made us do that. So I just got into weightlifting and I did whatever they did in weight training class. And then once I kind of graduated, I would do the same kind of workouts. I learned about supersets and negatives and all that jazz. And I knew I hated negatives. And as any other meathead at the time, I hated squats. So it was like, I'll just do bench press. And
curl and squat, right?
Curl. No, the easy curls on the preacher curl.
Oh, yeah.
That seems really good for your arms over a period of time to hyperextend like that. It's great. I would do all of that, and then I go to like those Globo gyms, go to, Gold's Gym, and there was one that was right here that was called Samson's that you could buy a 3-month membership, which was perfect for high school students because you could go in the summertime. And my parents paid for me to go, and I would go there. And ironically enough, now it is a dog training it's a dog training place, and next to it is a brewery. So solid turnaround.
Dogs off to get trained and get drunk with us.
Exactly right. See, you understand the business model.
Yeah.
I should have invested earlier. It's thriving at Dog Thrive. That's actually the name of it. It's Dog Thrive. It's weird. It's so strange. But so it's interesting to do that. And so what is it? I mean, what do you think about CrossFit that makes, because I agree, like going into it now, I would never go back to just that standardized kind of methodology of isolation, just doing certain things. Like we do it every once in a while, right? When we would come up with like fucked up Friday workouts, we'd be like, hey, look, let's just blow ourselves out on this one particular movement. And we would do that and then get into an actual like WOD, right? A Metcon, stuff like that. What do you think it is about CrossFit that appeals to you much more so than anything else? Like what caught your eye about that?
It's hard. Probably the same reason I'm going to go walk with you and 30 other individuals for 40 plus miles.
Yeah.
It was the challenge. It was difficult. It's never the same thing day in and day out. Monday isn't always International Chest Day.
Right. Right.
Wednesday isn't always leg day that you end up skipping doing chest again. No, I'm just joking.
There are people that do that, and
that.
We've seen them.
It was really the challenge of it was what initially, it was difficult, and it was always difficult. It was never easy. There was never, everybody loves chest day, but every day was different. Every day was a challenge. Every day was difficult, and there's always room to get better. There's something that you can be better at. And that's what initially sparked my interest. That is still the case for me personally, but now after coaching for almost a decade and now owning my own gym, that's kind of transitioned. Some people who are going to listen to this podcast knows what CrossFit is simply because of the CrossFit Games.
Sure.
And a lot of people have to realize that's less than 1% of the people that do CrossFit throughout the world. So now the reason I love CrossFit is because what it does for people, both physically with their health-wise and also mentally with their health-wise. The beauty of CrossFit, and I go into this spiel every time I talk to somebody new that walks into the gym, the definition of CrossFit, for those that don't know, is consistently varied functional movements performed at relative high intensity. That just means that every day is going to be different. It's going to have carryover to real things that you could possibly have to do in real life. And then the relative intensity, sometimes workouts are going to be 3 minutes and you're going to be collapsed on the ground thinking you lost a lung. And there's other days...
That's me every other day.
Yeah. And then there's other days that it has to be more controlled and more paced, and it's going to last 20, 25, 30 minutes. The beauty of CrossFit is it's infinitely scalable, which simply means that everybody can do it.
Yep.
Anybody. Regardless of your current physical condition, regardless if you have all 4 of your limbs or not, regardless of your mental aptitude, it's literally for everyone. And that's what continues to drive me both as a coach and an owner.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, we've all seen those videos, right? All the time of, like, you know, the 78-year-old woman who gets her first box jump, or the kid, what did he have? It's not cystic fibrosis. I'm going to get the disease mixed up. But the kid that was, for a period there, he got his first box jump. But right before that was the video that went around where he actually got his first deadlift. And I can't remember what he had. He actually was all over the place. But yeah, that stuff all comes from CrossFit gyms, or just exercise in general. And I think you brought up some really great points there of not just for CrossFit, but for health in general. And something I've kind of been spewing for a little bit here is where we are just as a society in general. When you look at things, you know, my frustration with, like, the big key to me is not always now, like, the physical. As I've gotten older, like, it's not so much the physical improvements that I get now. It's understanding and knowing that if I go to the gym 5 days a week, I'm a happier, better human, period, if I do that. And it doesn't matter if I was good or bad or whatever, right? But the mental knowing that I've pushed myself to whatever my limit was that week to do that has helped. But what it's also done is given me the ability to be physically healthy and not worry about certain things. And I'm concerned that is never a narrative overall.
Yeah.
Right? Like the not just the physical, but the mental well-being you can get from just exercising. You don't have to do CrossFit. That's fine. But it is infinitely scalable. It's the beautiful part. It's infinitely scalable. It gives you the ability, no matter who you are, to jump in and do it. You don't have to, you know, try and beat people on the leaderboard. There's those leaderboard sharks out there that
of course
don't necessarily count all their reps, but we're not going down that road, Robert Camp. We're not going to make fun of the leaderboard cheaters. But
or are we?
No, we might. We might. We have a big long event, so we're not drinking during this one. But we'll do another one where we'll drink, and then we'll really have some fun. But no, I kid. But that to me is a big thing that's never really put out there, and I think it's frustrating. I don't know what you think about that, but like to me, that is a message that should be out there in front of all of this stuff. Like I don't want to talk about COVID. I'm so tired of talking about COVID, but my one thing is, like, why has there never been anyone in a leadership position to come out and say, hey, go for a walk, don't eat donuts all day, drink some water.
Yeah.
And maybe your immune system will get a little stronger. You don't have to worry about it. But also mentally, right? Like, I don't know, like, to me, the mental aspect of it all, the improvement, what it benefits to exercise is almost more important, especially today.
Yeah. And like I said, not to go down this COVID road, but just for the simple fact that more than 75% of chronic controllable diseases happen due to lack of activity. 75%, more than 75% of the people in this country, including children, which is really scary, is either overweight or obese. And that's scary. When you consider all the other negative side effects that come with it. Type 2 diabetes, a disease that is 100% curable.
Yeah.
100%.
I know at least a dozen people that had it and then just by eating healthier and walking got rid of their diabetes.
Type 2 diabetes, coronary heart disease, some cancers, and the list goes on and on and on. And these are things that we have 100% control over. And there's not very many, even though we like to think so, there's not very many things in your life that you have 100% control over. You may be a good driver. Doesn't mean you're not going to get killed in a car wreck because somebody else isn't.
Right.
But your health is part of that. And I agree. The mental side of working out, whether it be CrossFit or whatever you're doing, is equally important and is equally part of your daily habit than anything else. And I don't want to, sit here and tell people that if you're not doing CrossFit, then you're failing at life.
I'll tell them that.
Just get out and do something. Do I think CrossFit is the best thing since sliced bread? Absolutely. Do I think everybody and their mother and their grandchildren should be doing CrossFit? Absolutely. If it's between CrossFit and nothing else, or if it's between something else and nothing else, then do something else.
Yeah.
Go for a walk. Do a spin class. Go lift weights. Go for a walk. Do something physically active. And then don't eat like an asshole.
Yeah, that's kind of the key piece most people forget, right? Is you can't, just because you work out doesn't mean that all of a sudden the whole pizza or the whole sleeve of donuts is okay.
Yeah, you can't outwork a bad diet.
No, you can't. You can once in a while. Like we're gonna do something here for the next 24 hours that'll outwork the bad food we eat immediately thereafter. But that's just calorie replacement.
Oh yeah.
Trying not to, completely fall asleep from exhaustion and lack of food.
Yeah.
And our lovely ladies will be bringing us pizza. Yes, we eat pizza. We work out and we eat pizza, but only when we do things for 24 hours with no food. That typically helps there. But no, man, I agree with you. Like it's crazy. If you have choices, pick what works for you. That's the big key. Is pick what works for you and what makes you feel good. We're not saying only do CrossFit. Do we both believe that that's probably one of the best ways to do it? Absolutely, 1,000%. It's why we do it. It's whatever. There's more to it, believe it or not. I know it seems intimidating when you look at when you watch the CrossFit Games, since most people know that's how it is. You look at it like, oh my God, I could never do that. Nobody wants you to.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if you do.
Nope.
All you have to do is kind of what's best for you, and that's ultimately where it goes from there. So let's
real quick. And we talked about food and eating a pizza because we quote unquote earned it. I don't want to put this negative connotation that you have to do something physically stupid in order to enjoy food.
I'm glad we admitted this physically stupid what we're about to do, but
oh yeah, absolutely. But we work out and we eat right because we love our bodies, not because we hate our bodies.
Yeah,
right. So a lot of people think, well, a diet is because I want to change who I am. No, you eat healthy, and diet is such an overused word. Your nutritional intake should match your physical activity. That's all we're saying. And it's okay to fall off the wagon every now and then.
1,000%.
It's okay it's better to be consistently good than momentarily perfect. And I think that's why so many people fail at diets is because they're so concerned about being perfect that eventually they're going to mess up. They're going to have a glass of wine, or they're going to have some ice cream, or they're going to have that cheat meal, or they're going to have a cheat day or a cheat weekend or whatever the case may be, and they beat themselves up so bad, well, I messed up one time, I can't do this, and they just stop. Instead of just picking up where you left off, you don't have to go do an extra workout. You don't have to starve yourself for 48 hours to make up for the calories you took. People remember we work out and we eat because we love ourselves, not because we hate ourselves.
Right.
So... Sorry. That was
no, you're fine, and but you're 100% right. That brings up a great point, right? Is it that you said something there that is, I think, two of the biggest things that people worry about, especially with diet, right? Around the word diet, is like I'm taking a diet because I'm going to change who I am as a person. You're not going to change who you are as a person.
Right.
If you're a miserable human being and you lose 50 pounds. You're just a lighter, miserable human being.
Right.
What you should use that diet for is not so much to change who you are as a person, but to make your body feel better. And if you focus on your body feeling better, then what will happen is that naturally, mentally, you will start to feel better. And guess what that leads to? Maybe you do change as a little bit of a person, right? You get a little happier. That's what it means. You're not going to change who you are completely. But the other part, too, is... exactly that. Like mistakes happen. Like when you're working out, you miss a day working out. Oh man, I feel like crap. I didn't work out today. Like I'm terrible. Okay. Like I said that if I know if I work out 5 days a week, I'm happy. Everything's good. You know what happens when I miss? I know I've missed because I can feel myself getting a little bit. That's that mental piece, right? So I'm just like, all right, tomorrow just got to go because guess what? Tomorrow is a new day. So if today you messed up, if you messed up and you instead of you're like, hey, I'm just gonna have one serving at dinner and you ended up with 3. Okay, tomorrow don't just have 1. Go back to having one and build from that, right? Like it's, I know that you've done it a couple times, is that whole 75 days hard program. That actually is part of the mental piece to that I think is amazing, that doesn't get highlighted enough about that, which is if you fail, you go back and start at day one. But you start at day one. You don't fail, and then it's over, and you have to drop out. There's nothing to drop out from. You just start over, and let's restart the counter. That's it. Restart the counter.
Yep.
That's it. And that's one thing, like I said, kind of getting into, like, you've done that 75 days hard program. What was it that you think you got the most out of the first time you did it? Because I know you've done it a couple times, right?
Yeah. So the first time I did it, I think I was in line with probably 90% of the other people that do it, that look at it strictly as a physical challenge.
Sure.
I got to work out twice a day, 45 minutes. One has to be outside, regardless of the weather, outside of a hurricane or a tornado or something that's going to physically injure you. And, Andy Priscilla goes into that. And, if what's going on outside is extremely dangerous, probably shouldn't go outside that day.
Yeah.
But there's so much more of a mental aspect to it. Most people aren't successful because of themselves, not because of outside influences.
Right.
It's no different on 75 hard or any challenge that somebody picks up. It's not the fact that the workouts were difficult, because go do a workout. If you can't work out, go for a run. You can't run, walk. You can't walk, crawl, ride a bike, do something. Do yoga for 45 minutes. Doesn't really matter what it is. Mm-hmm. The mental aspect of it was going outside when it was cold. Mm-hmm. The mental aspect of it was going outside on a Sunday afternoon when my wife and my two bonus sons are just kind of hanging out, having a lazy Sunday.
Yep.
Just enjoying time together. That's where things get hard. That's where the self-discipline comes into play. And I've said it and I've posted about it before. Motivation is great, but discipline trumps motivation 100 times a day. Because we all start a diet or a workout program or a new job or fill in a blank and we're motivated. Well, soon that motivation is going to go away. Mm-hmm. The realization that this is going to take effort, this is going to be hard, I'm going to miss out on things, on events, on food, on whiskey, on beer, or fill in the blank. Motivation is no longer there. Mm-hmm. You're not motivated to miss things that are fun.
It's just the discipline.
You're disciplined enough to continue on. And that's with 75 hard. That's with any diet. And just like a diet, just like you said on 75 hard, if you mess up, you have to start at day one. Well, if you mess on a diet, you just start the next day.
Yeah.
You just restart the next day. You don't punish yourself. You don't, like I said, you don't fast for 48 hours just because you messed up. Just start again.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Right back at it. It's super simple. And I think that's the big thing. I saw a quote the other day I thought was really cool. It said something to the effect of, like, motivation counts for 1% of whatever it is that you're trying to do. That means the other 99% is based on your amount of discipline.
Yep.
Right? And
motivation gets you started.
Yeah.
Discipline gets you across the finish line.
That's exactly right. And gets you through it all, right? I mean, like, ultimately, again, reverting back to tonight. Our motivation for this tonight was really because it's going to be challenging and the significance of the day and the event, right? That was really our driver for that. That was our motivation for it. When we get dropped off by the lovelies tonight at 6 o'clock in that park just outside of the Pentagon, motivation doesn't work anymore.
No.
After going through some of the shorter events, motivation doesn't get you anywhere. Just pure grit and determination and the discipline that you have instilled in yourself previous to this, to the workouts that we've done. Let's just make sure everybody's very clear. Like, this isn't something we decided to do like yesterday. Like, we're not just going to go out and do this. We have beat ourselves up a bit, taken on some extra shitty workouts just to kind of train our bodies for that so that we can run through what this is going to be. And that's from discipline and training. Then we get to this, and then that discipline will help us get through the rest of it.
Right.
And that's all it is. And it doesn't have to be, like we said, it doesn't have to be these most crazy things, right? This is just what we like to do. Robert and I found a strong connection in doing really hard, stupid things that physically made us feel like poo for a period of time. This one will make us feel a little bit More like poo. Not as much like poo from the 50 miler.
You think?
I don't think we'll be as bad. Like, we'll be bad like a day, maybe. But I don't think we'll be as bad. Like, bro, we were wrecked for weeks after that 50 miler.
50 miler was rough.
Right? Because, like, and I was thinking about it today, actually. I was walking the dogs at lunchtime there. The one thing I was thinking about, I was like, man, the difference in this one and why I don't think we'll be as wrecked. We'll be tired. I don't think we'll be as wrecked is because the 50 miler was just rucking. It was one continuous movement for 19 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all we did. This at least is going to vary it up. It's going to change up a little bit of what we do. We'll have different movements. We won't be doing all that rucking. So we won't have ankles that won't, flex for 3 days, unlike the last time. But yeah, I think that's that. I think that I don't know. I don't think we'll be that bad. I don't know. We'll find out. We're gonna find out. That's for sure. So you have so you want? Do you still have your podcast? I don't know. Do you do a podcast with your buddy anymore? Or
we haven't. He's so for those of y'all that don't know, I used to do a podcast with an amazing battle buddy of mine. Hop on Instagram, get on Getting to Greatness. Show Cornelius Deloach some love.
Shouts out.
Getting to Greatness. No, he is actually since PCS'd for permanent change stations, where the Army moves you from one place to another. He was out in California at RTC. Now he's doing back at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Still doing great things. Just kind of fell off, got busy with life. I started college. He's put a lot of energy and a lot of focus and a lot of success into his brand. So not for any specific reason, just kind of fell off. Yeah.
Nice. So you guys did that, and that was based so that show was really kind of based on like mindset and leadership and things like that, right?
Right.
Getting to greatness, so to speak. So when you look at things now, just kind of as the world is right now, in terms of, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the right way to word this is, what is it about, what it is that got us to this point where we have such terrible leadership in general? I'm not specifically talking about just the president, but like when you look around in general, I can count like maybe 2 good leaders that I see and follow at this point in time, and I feel like I'm pretty open to a lot of the world, so I pay attention to that. But like, there's nobody that's standing right now in the public eye that I would say is like, oh my gosh, like, why do you think we are in this space of just no one wants to be a leader? No one, it seems like, wants to be a leader.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Like I can tell you, like I know, like we look at guys like Andy Frisella, there's a guy we follow, great leader. Like that guy's a leader. He's a leader, right? That Jocko Willink, I mean, that's what he teaches and preaches, and that dude is a fantastic leader. And a lot of those guys. But then you look at it and it's like,
and Soul Crusher, David Goggins.
The David Goggins, stay hard.
Yeah.
Another terrible event that we did physically.
Yeah, that 4x4x48 was rough. So if you look at those guys, and if you look at other guys that or may not be so popular, for lack of better terms.
Sure.
I think it boils down to the same things we're going to do tonight, and that shared suffering.
Yeah.
It's really hard to lead people through hard times if you've never been through hard times. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, I was fortunate. I mean, I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
Completely transparent. I was fortunate enough to have a really good childhood.
Mm-hmm.
If you read David Goggins' book or listen to the podcast of his book,
terrible.
That dude had a miserable upbringing.
Yeah.
Right? Miserable. And he even says it himself. He should have been a statistic.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And nobody would have thought any worse for him. Nobody would have ever known who he was at this point.
That's for sure.
But I think it boils down to shared suffering. We all go through hard times. Either hard times finds us, or we go search out hard times.
Right.
And we go search out hard times with other people that are going to experience or doing those hard times for the right reasons along with us. So I think as far as the lack of leadership, whether it be in this country or in this world, I think it boils down to a lack of shared suffering, a lack of understanding, a lack of grace, a lack of understanding. Not everybody's the same. And by mathematics, all 35 plus people that are going to start with us tonight, math tells us not all 35 are going to finish. That doesn't mean I think any less of those people.
Yeah.
That's not what it means.
No.
I think a little bit of grace, a little bit of mercy, a little bit of shared suffering and understanding can go a long way. That may be the answer to our problems. It may not be the answer to our problems, but it's really hard for me to look at people that are so disconnected from the rest of us and raise my hand and be like, yep, I'll share a foxhole with that guy. And I'm not perfect. I had a great 21-year military career, but I'm sure if anybody I served with listens to this podcast, there's times that I failed. There's times that I failed myself. There's times that I failed my soldiers. Never was it intentional. But it's like I said, that shared suffering and that understanding and that grace, I think, goes a long way.
No, I agree completely. I think that's a big part of the problem now, is that we don't have people that are... We don't have anybody that's seeking out a hard time. And on top of the fact, you look at how comfortable as America... Right, so if we just get down to what tomorrow is, right? The 20th anniversary of September 11th. On September 10th, we were the fattest, happiest, most comfortable we've ever been in this country. We just were.
Yeah.
And it all came crashing down in one shot just because of... probably a little bit of all of that, right? We just and those hard times, like as you pointed out, hard times will find you, or you will go find them. And hard times found us. And on September 12th, it looked like, oh man, it fired everybody up. And somehow we've gotten very far from that. In that there are too many people still in this world of just of comfort and luxury, and that's all we're going to focus on is the luxury and how can I have more luxury. They don't look for those hard times or aren't willing to go through those hard times to get to that. And you see a lot of that kind of go through, and I think that's where, I know I've been through plenty of hard times, and as you talked about, like people that listen to this may have known you when they served with you, and like, oh, you failed your soldiers, but you have to, right? Like I'm a huge proponent of failure, a huge proponent of it, because it's the greatest life teacher, right? Like I said like over and over again, right? Like this is that time, and you've experienced it with your kids who are older and your two bonus sons who are now younger, right? Like they're in those two dichotomies, and that's where we are with all three of our teenagers right now. It's you're phasing out of that. I am the wall, the protector, everything, including the rules and everything for you when you're little, and then you reach this age where you have to start to say, I'm going to protect you. However, now you got to fail.
Yep.
Now you got to fail. I have to let you do things and let you experience them. I can be here as a guide, right? And I think that's one thing that I've told. I know I've told our daughter. She prepares her senior year. Is look, we've reached the stage now where I'm here to guide you, but the bumpers are down, so to speak, for bowling. There's no more bumpers. Like you got to experience hard times, because that'll happen, right? And that's why, like, there's a couple different things I really like saying wise. Like it's something like, hard times create great men create easy times create soft men.
Yep.
Right. So there's that.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, that one. That's a great quote. And then the one I've heard before, which I actually had that canvas made that's behind you, that says, "Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life."
Yeah.
If you always take the easy choice or take the easy road, that's when hard times will find you. Yeah. They will, and they'll be infinitely worse than if you had chose hard times.
Yeah. So and going back to the obesity and workout and fitness and all that discussion, CrossFit isn't easy, regardless of how fit you are. It never gets easier. You just get fitter.
It's always humbling.
eating right, not perfectly, but eating right consistently is hard. It takes effort. But you know what else is hard? Type 2 diabetes is hard. Coronary heart disease is hard.
Yeah.
So your life is going to be hard.
Yeah.
But you have the ability to choose your hard.
Right.
Right. Just like your sign says, easy choices, hard life. Hard life or
hard choices, easy life. Yeah.
Okay. So make your choice. Choose your hard.
Yeah. Either choose the one. If you choose the hard that you're going to attack, I promise you that hard is easier than the one you just let happen.
Yeah.
Right. And it gets back to that whole, living life and attacking life versus letting life happen to you.
Right.
Because life is not good. Life is not nice, right? We all heard it from our parents. We've heard it on TV and movie shows. Life is mean and nasty. It'll beat you to the ground. It will if you let it. If you let it. Yep. Who knew Rocky Balboa was the greatest philosopher of our time? Who knew? Sylvester Stallone, that pretty face.
Yeah.
And that beautiful speech impediment.
And that lip.
Hey guys, hey. You know what was terrible is we just watched a movie the other night that he was the voice of something, but it was the big dumb. What the hell did we just watch? Oh no, we watched the new Suicide Squad movie. Have you seen that yet?
I have not.
Oh, it's great. It's spectacular. It's so funny. Like they did a great job making it super entertaining. They didn't do that dark shit that they did in the last one.
Oh yeah.
Which my wife liked. I don't know. She liked the first one. She wasn't a big fan of it. I laughed harder at the second one than most movies I've seen recently. It was so great. But the big dumb shark character, and this is not a spoiler alert. Somebody's going to be like, you should say spoiler alert. No, fuck you. It's not a spoiler alert because as soon as he starts talking, he'll be like, it's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Because he makes these dumb noises. He's just like, eat, chum chum. You're like, oh, Jesus. That's either Patrick from freaking SpongeBob or beaten in the face Sylvester Stallone. Like it's so obvious. But I don't know. And now the dog is trying to eat Kersey's hair. That's great. He's so weird. So yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. But I'm looking forward to tonight because we've chose this hard, right? Kind of get back to what we were talking about. We chose this to be really hard on purpose, to try it out and see. And of course, like I said, obviously the moment, the day, the 20th anniversary, all that jazz is one part of it. But then we added in, as you text me that next day after those 13 Marines were killed, I was like, all right, this just got a little more serious, a little more extra motivation, which
real. Yeah.
Also our cadre has posted up that is going to be the case as well as we kind of make sure to remember them as well. So it's going to be a long 24 hours. I would tell people we're going to do another podcast after that, but no.
We might be sleeping.
If we're feeling jazzed and fired up and ready to go, maybe we'll throw a little 30-minute on here, but just to get a post-op of how it all went. But I'm not sure.
Maybe we should wait to post this to make sure we finish.
Oh, yeah. That would be awkward. No, man.
Podcast.
We'll get back on. Let's talk about failure.
Yeah.
Us 4 hours in.
I'm done. I'm out of here.
Oh, that's a funny story. So there is a funny story.
Didn't age well.
So we know several friends. I'll keep it this way so that we don't get anybody. No one will get in trouble, but so nobody will get butthurt. So we know people that have done one like this before, and we know that the 3 of them finished. But I don't know if you know that there was 4 of them.
Yes.
Oh, you did. So you heard this story. Mm-hmm. It was great. After it was like 6 hours. Just was like, I'm not taking 18 more hours of this, and walked away.
That I didn't.
Walked out, didn't say bye to everybody, left.
That I didn't.
Got a cab and left. Just walked away. So I'll make you a promise that I'm not just going to walk away if I quit.
That.
I'm also not going to quit, so it doesn't matter.
No. I think short of an injury, neither one of us are going to quit.
I would agree with that. I think that's even what the conversation I had with my lovely wife last night was like. Short of an injury, there's no reason to quit. It's just.
And by injury, I mean serious injury. I don't mean
not sore,
not a stub toe or a blister. Like it's going to take a broken bone.
Well, I think the one thing that will pop up that'll be in there, and we know it well from the 50 miler, and I'm sure you know it from many other things. But this is what choosing the hard and going through hard times does. What people don't realize is every one of us has in us that deep, dark spiritual place. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean spiritual like, oh yeah, I pray. Or like you guys are Catholic, you go to church, right? Mm-hmm. That's not what I mean.
No.
You know what I mean. What I mean is you get down that deep, dark spiritual place where you're questioning your soul and your life as to what are you doing. And that's where the seeds of inner bitch grow and blossom. And if you've gone through hard times, if you've gone through tough things, you've chosen hard things, those teach you to deal with that in all aspects of life.
And there's people say, oh, you've done this, like David Goggins. We'll still tell you every single morning that voice pops up.
Every morning.
It doesn't ever go away.
Nope.
You don't. There's never a way to kill that voice. You have to deal with that voice every day.
Yeah, and you have to find a way to pull it out, and that's what he talks about with the cookie jar, right? That's when you reach in that cookie jar to pull out, like, hey, this is hard, but remember when I did this? Oh, yeah, this isn't that hard.
Yep.
I'll move on. And that's why you should seek those things out, because it's going to give you the opportunity to hold on to that and be like, I finished. I'm cool. I'm awesome.
I get a patch.
Yeah. I mean, I get up every morning, and I look in the mirror, and I'm like, that is one glorious son of a bitch.
That's right.
And then my wife, Then my wife says, "Don't call me that." And I was like, "I'm sorry."
You should really take my picture off your mirror. That's kind of weird.
I do stare. Actually, it's not even on the mirror anymore. I did take it off. I pick it up in the morning. It's on the nightstand. So when I get up, I tape it to my face.
There you go.
And I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh man. And then the eye holes were the only thing cut out so I could see. And then I realized there's a way to make this better and feel more promising. I cut the mouth out and I just go. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. All right, buddy. What do you think? Let's go carb load. I got to cook some noodles. Let's eat some grub.
Yeah.
What do you think? Sound like a good plan?
Sounds like a good plan.
Any last words for the peoples? We're down to 4 people that listen now.
4 people.
Yeah, we did a good job. Record number of detractors.
I wonder if you could get people to report the podcast for being bad.
That would be fun. That would be awesome.
No, I just think I'm ready for tonight. It's going to be fun in a very strange way.
In a very strange way. We're good at getting weird, though, so it's okay.
Yeah. So, no, but it is that dark place. You mentioned going in that dark place and having it being a somewhat of a religious experience, and I think we're well on our way to that, and should be interesting.
Very much so. Very much so. So tell the good peeps where they can find you on the socials, as well as the old CrossFit Vex, which by the way, killer hat.
Thanks.
I love that hat.
Appreciate it. Just CrossFitVex.com. My individual profile is private because I've had
you've had so many
it's 2 or 3 years, man. People have been stealing my face and putting random profiles and
it's been
scamming people for money, and so if I ask you to send me a vanilla Visa gift card, that's probably not me.
Vanilla?
Yeah.
What's a vanilla Visa gift card?
I guess it's like the shape or design or graphics on it. I don't know.
Is it one of those scratch and taste gift cards?
I have no idea.
I don't even know those are a thing.
But yeah, if you're listening to this and you think that we know each other and we've never actually physically talked, we probably don't know each other and you're getting scammed. But yeah, 2 or 3 years I've been dealing with this. I've actually been called by investigators before. Be like, hey, do you know this person? Nope, sure don't.
Holy cow.
And
that's amazing.
And to caveat on that, if you're sending money to somebody you don't know, you're dumb.
Yeah, you're the problem. You're part of the problem.
And I'm not talking about charities, well-known charities, but if you're sending money to a specific individual that you've never actually physically met, you should probably stop.
Right, and the Prince of Nigeria does not need your money.
No.
He's a prince. If you've seen Coming to America 1 and 2, you understand. Princes have a lot of money. Even if they want to go.
Yeah, so CrossFitVex.com, or we're on Instagram and Facebook. And if you are out west anywhere, I'm going to do a little plug real quick.
Do it.
If you are out west anywhere and you think you're the fittest in the West, November 13th, if you go to Competition Corner, look up Battle in the Valley, finding the fittest pound-for-pound athletes in the West. So if you think you got what it takes, 2 categories, scaled and RX, male-female, co-ed competition. If you think you are the fittest, time to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You guys have the competition. Let's do it. Get out there. If you're in the West, if you're around Colorado, anywhere out there,
Utah,
get away from the fires. If you're in California, leave the fires. Go see if you're the fittest. Even if you fight fires, maybe. Yeah. If you can get a day off work, they can drive out. It's more than a day drive, but I don't care.
Yeah.
It sounded good.
Come out.
Do it. Awesome. Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man.
Let's go
It's
eat.
been great. Let's go eat. Bye, everybody.
Bye.